All right, we're back. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. That's Tone to Shields in for Derek Gunn. I'm Rob Ellis. Appreciate you hanging with us. Let's hit the like button if you could, my friend. It's been a while since we had our next guest on, and we missed talking to him. So we thought, who better to talk to after a win like this than the man himself? You can follow him on Twitter /X at Coach_Markus, Markus 06. He does an awesome job just breaking things down, pro fan talk. You can catch him all the time, A2D radio as well. And there he is. There's our guy. What's up, Coach Markus?
What is happening, man?
All right, give me the emotional roller coaster as you're watching that thing last night, man, like the rest of us.
Man, let me tell you something. Between the Dallas game and this game and the KC game, man, I gotta, you gotta get new blood pressure medicine, man. It was just crazy. Yeah, we just can't do things the easy way.
No, it's not gonna be one of those years, man. You just gotta get used to that.
If you look in the dictionary and you look up ugly win, it's gonna say C Philadelphia Eagles. That's pretty
2023 Eagles. Yes, exactly.
You know what? But we got it done. It wasn't pretty. I guess pretty means you got to blow somebody out by 21, 28 points or something like that. But in today's NFL, it's not always going to go like that. So you get what you get. We grinded out the tough games. And at the end of the day, our players made the plays and theirs did not. That's what it comes down to. Because if the situation was flipped, and we can all go back to the Washington game that we lost last year.
Sure.
Now they understand they got their Quez Watkins moment. You know what I'm saying? So we were beat. Who was that? Roby that was beat on that deep throw?
Yes.
I don't care what Patrick Mahomes. I know he's picking up for his team, but he threw that ball on a dime. It was perfect.
Perfect throw. Yep.
And hit the man in the hands. That's what you get paid to do. And they didn't come through with it. Our players made the plays. Theirs did not.
Markus, good to see you, man. Long time no see. I'm glad to have you on the show, man.
Thank you.
I'm looking at this Eagles team, right? And you said it, right? It was an ugly win. And it seems like people, not you, but it seems like a lot of people tend to make that seem like it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, I was telling Rob earlier, don't judge a team or don't judge a man in moments of peace, right? Judge them in times of chaos. Judge them when things are just going haywire and they still find a way to get it done, right? What's been your overall thoughts on this Philadelphia Eagles team throughout the season, how they've won, the quality of the victories, and how their methods can translate to the playoffs?
They just got to keep doing what they're doing. Every win that we've had this year comes with a but. Yes, they won that game, but it was ugly. Yes, they won that game, but they ran a lot on us. There's always a but. At the end of the day, we still got the dub. Yep. So I will take the buts with the W. I can live with that. I think a lot of fandom, especially with everything that goes on with social media, everybody wants something to put on the highlight tape.
Yep.
And a lot of the people on TV, present company excluded, a lot of people on TV, they go by the highlights. They don't watch the games.
Yes.
So there's a lot of detailers, a lot of minutia in those games that'll tell you a lot about what a team is made of. And we've got that. We win the hard games. We spotted that. We gave Dallas the game at home on a silver platter, and they couldn't finish the deal.
Yep.
So there's something to be said for that. When it comes to the critical times, to your point, Tone, when you are in crisis, you will see what kind of character you have. And that's why I've said this many times before. That's why I'm so glad we have QB1. Jalen Hurts. This is where all of those intangibles, all of that stuff they talk about at scouting and combines, all the stuff they want to say when they don't think a quarterback is very good. He's got the intangibles. He's a good leader. Yeah, but you haven't said how he throws the ball. You haven't said how he reads the defense. But he's a leader of men, and they say everything else but the stuff they want to see on the field. Now we've got a quarterback that has the tangible assets on the field and the leadership assets.
Yep.
So we get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, Markus and Tone, I've been saying this all year. Like, the Eagles aren't a Mona Lisa. They're a paint by numbers. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still liking the way it looks hanging on the wall, man. Okay,
Facts.
Can we just get past this thing where it's got to be a supermodel? I don't care. You know what I mean? Just win. And last night's they're outstatted. Marcus, everywhere. I mean,
Everywhere.
everywhere they're outstatted, but they still figure out ways to win. There's something you can't quantify there, man, that they just have. There's an it factor that they have that many others in this league don't. And that isn't going to go away, that it factor.
Yeah. I would put Jalen Hurts now on the same level of Mahomes. Mahomes finds a way to win. Jalen Hurts finds a way to win. The only difference is our players made the plays. Mahomes found a way to win. You know, let's keep it real. He threw the ball where it needed to be.
Yeah,
and
he
put it on the money on time.
Got let down. Yeah,
exactly. So they understand that, and we empathize with that because we've been there.
Yeah,
but we've got a quarterback that makes it happen when it needs to happen. And everything that we here in Philadelphia complain about now, it's definitely a nitpick. Yes, I want better play calling from Brian Johnson in certain situations, but at the end of the day, it's nitpicking because we still have more points than our opponents, and that's all that matters. So hopefully going forward, everything gets tightened up. Everything gets tightened up. I'm so tired of other people talking about our tough schedule coming up and this, that, and the other. And it's like, you know what? Everybody we got to play in this tough schedule have to play us, and they don't want that noise because we're finding ways to win. You know what I mean? Dallas, they can talk all. Never in my life have I seen a Dallas team okay with a moral victory.
Yeah,
where did that come from?
That's a great sign to me that they came away from that thing feeling positive. I love that.
Exactly. We gave it to them. Y'all, we gave y'all the game. We gave y'all 3 penalties at the end of the game. We had a secondary that was put together by masking tape and bubble gum, and we had a quarterback on one leg, and you still couldn't beat us. So now the next time we go down there, we're gonna be healthy. So we'll see what's going to happen with that, when we get to that week. So, but the Eagles are in a good spot. We're still getting better. We still haven't played that game on offense and defense where you can say, damn, them are some bad boys right there. But we are gutting it out, and we're coming out on top.
Marcus, you said something interesting, right? The fact that, this gauntlet that the Eagles are supposedly on, everyone's saying the Eagles should watch out for them, but people should really be watching out for the Philadelphia Eagles. Earlier Rob brought up a Rocky II reference, right? And there's a scene where Apollo was trying to set up the fight with Rocky, and Tony Duke's like, listen, we don't need this fight. And Apollo's like, no, why not? What, you scared? He said, no. I seen you hit that brother with everything you had. He kept coming. We don't need that in our life.
Yeah.
Like, when you hear that, right? Like, how synonymous is that with the Philadelphia Eagles? It doesn't matter what you hit them with. It doesn't matter how the game is looking. They're down by 10, 14 at the half. Somehow, some way, Jalen Hurts and these boys, they find a way to dig deeper than everybody else, and they make the winning plays. You compared them to Patrick Mahomes always finding a way to win. Some people may call that blasphemous, right? So how do you respond when someone says Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, same level? Make that make sense.
Tape don't lie. That's that simple. Tape doesn't lie. Because if you want to go by, Patrick Mahomes is video game level. You can't take that away.
Yeah.
I said it last year. Jalen Hurts was the MVP of the NFL last year if Patrick Mahomes didn't exist. Let's be real about that situation. He's that dude. So when it comes to bringing your team to the next level, Patrick Mahomes is that dude. You can't deny that. But in the Super Bowl, our quarterback was almost the MVP in a losing effort.
Right.
One mistake cost us. One mistake. So when I look at it from that standpoint of, take all of the stats and stuff off the table. Patrick Mahomes, every time Patrick Mahomes is in a game, you expect Kansas City to win. And we are at that level now with Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts is healthy and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, when the Philadelphia Eagles come to town or when you roll into Philly, we expect Philadelphia to win because we've taken we took the Cowboys, we took their best shot, right? We took Kansas City, we took their best shot at home. We traveled to their place and we took their best shot and we came out with the win. So at the end of the day, you can talk stats and you can say Mahomes is a better quarterback and all of that kind of stuff. Yes, you can. But there's only one team that's 9-1, us. And there have been some inferior teams that beat Kansas City. Not to mention, Kansas City is going through the same thing that all these other teams eventually go through. The law of averages is going to catch up with you. Now you got Jason Kelsey and who else?
Mm-hmm.
It's time for those who else players to step up, and they haven't done that, and they've known this. So they can, rag on Tyreek Hill all they want, but I bet you Tyreek Hill would have caught that ball at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
There's pluses and minuses to everything. Patrick Mahomes can't do it all by himself.
Yeah, Travis Kelce can't either. You're right.
Yeah,
correct. And what did they do? And I said this because in my opinion, when Kansas City played Miami and Germany, that showed me something. Miami had that game.
Mm-hmm.
Miami had held them to 14 points, and the only reason they won was because Tyreek Hill got that fumble and they got a scoop and score off of it. That was it. Miami's defense played lights out. For whatever reason, in that particular game, Miami's offense couldn't do squat in the first half. If Miami would have done what they had normally done in games, they would have won that game. But for whatever reason, they had their number. And the one thing that showed me something last night, finally, Sean Desai, brother, your halftime adjustments are spot on.
Yep.
Brian Johnson is still a little sketch to me, but again, that's a nitpick. But what it showed me is that our coaches can coach with the best of them out there. Because that first half, I was like, we losing the chess match badly right now. We getting out coached right now. Second half, they got it together. And we came out with the dub, and that's all that matters. And that's showing me that not only is the team getting better, is that our coaches are getting better. Yes, I want Brian Johnson to get better a little bit faster, but I'm gonna take what we get.
I hear you. And we were talking about this earlier too. You look at what they just to start this stretch off, Marcus. The fact I'm going to say 6 games. Most people want to say 5. You beat Dak. They haven't been able to beat Dak. Now you beat Andy and Pat Mahomes at their place to start this stretch off. I think not that the Eagles needed any kind of confidence. They're a confident bunch, obviously, but that has to feel good. Like, okay, let's check some more stuff off the box here that we're supposedly. I think you'll get to that at that game in Seattle where they seem to never win. Right now, you have these things to build off of as you march forward here with this stretch.
Yeah, I think the toughest game is going to be San Francisco.
Yeah, because they're going to leave. They're going to empty it. The bucket's going to be emptied in that one.
Exactly. That's the new rivalry in the NFC because of what happened last year. And they're getting healthy. So they're going to have Debo and CMC. Ayuk is playing well.
Yep.
Brock Purdy, say what you want to say about him. He's the real deal. He's been in there long enough where you can say he's the real deal. He's not going to throw the ball 80 yards down the field. He's going to be smart and get the ball into arguably the most dangerous skill position on the field. That's either CMC or Debo. He's got those options. That's the same criticism they gave to Jalen Hurts last year. Well, yeah, he's got all of those parts, so they should be winning. I'm saying the same thing about San Francisco. And you know what? That's what you're supposed to say. That's the type of team you want. You got deadly skill positions at every position. You got a tight end, you got 2 running backs, you got a hybrid. You got a good deep. You got arguably the best linebacker core in the league. So that's what you're supposed to have. So that's going to be the biggest challenge that we come across. But even in this stretch, you look at every team that we've got. We got San Francisco, Buffalo, Dallas again, and Seattle, right? Every one of those teams has issues. Bosa just went down.
Yep.
Bosa's hurt, I believe.
Joey Bosa's hurt for the Chargers. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the other one. So,
that's all right.
But they had the issue with the defense. It looks like they got it, straightened out.
They lost their safety, Hufanga, who's a beast.
That's a big loss for them, for sure.
Yep. And then you got Seattle's having issues too. Dallas. I think we sweep Dallas because Dallas couldn't beat us when we were hurt. You see what I'm saying? Dallas couldn't beat us when we were hurt. Jalen Hurts was nowhere near his best. So now that we go back to Dallas, we're a little bit healthier. The secondary clearly looked better yesterday. So we've got that going for us. So we just got to keep getting together. The secondary has to keep gelling together. Maybe we'll take an L, Maybe we won't. All I know is if we keep playing the way we playing and we keep tightening things up, we'll be fine. I do think we still have a liability as well as Zach Cunningham played. I still think he is or can be a liability in pass defenses. And somebody's going to take advantage of that because clearly Andy Reid had watched the tape in the first half of the Washington game and the Rams game.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear he watched those tapes. So was everybody else. Everybody else watched the first half of the KC game. So guess what? They're going to be trying to run the ball on us a little bit more. So those things are coming. I trust that Sean Desai is going to make the right adjustments and put our defense in the best position to win. We're still in a good spot right now.
You know, Marcus, I was talking to Rob yesterday, and I was saying that DeAndre Swift could potentially be, well, he's going to be the best player on the field, you know, tonight. Talking about Monday night. And it essentially held true for the most part. You have a strong understanding of the running back position. I want to understand. Walk me through the mind of the running back in the situation, in the situations that DeAndre Swift was put in. You know, in the screen game. Being used in the jet sweeps. He was used in so many different creative ways on the field. You know, walk us through how DeAndre Swift was so successful against the Chiefs yesterday.
If you look at the touchdown he scored, right? Take away the holding. It was what it was. They didn't call it, so we got it. DeAndre Swift is one of the few backs that can hit it up inside and have enough speed to bounce it out successfully. Mm-hmm. If you remember a couple years ago, that was one of the criticisms of
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Not that he couldn't do it, but more times than not, I don't think Miles had enough speed because he was fast, but he wasn't explosive. Nice. DeAndre Swift is explosive. So DeAndre Swift can lose ground and still make it around that corner. That's exactly what he did on that touchdown. Not to mention you talking about finally getting him the ball in space, on the screen plays, on the jet sweep. I still wish we would have some designed quick pitch plays for him to literally get him outside. If you want to line him up in gun, that's fine. I've seen enough plays in the NFL in gun formation where they get the snap and they just quick pitch it to the right and he's already 5 yards away. We got to get him the ball in space. I believe we had 2 plays where it was a off-tackle play out of pistol. So it's my favorite way to run a play where Jalen Hurts sticks the ball out with his hand. The linebackers see that ball out and they have to flow. It's instinctive. When the linebackers flow, it's an easier block for the offensive lineman and it sets everything up. Pacheco was killing us on that. When you have those zone reads as a running back, I tell anybody, go back and look at the Denver Broncos when TD was still there. That's exactly what they did. They they would stick the ball out. He would get Terrell Davis would get the ball deep and it would cause the linebackers to flow and it would just set up the blocks and all he had to do was just read it and be a running back. DeAndre Swift can do that. We need to set up plays so we can take advantage of that. But for whatever reason, we love to go tackle to tackle. And last night, it really wasn't working that great because Chris Jones was over there. Chris Jones was wrecking shop last night.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to find a different way. You got it with the jet sweep. You got it with the screen plays. It's all about getting the ball in space. You're not going to beat them all the time, but I would take my chances with DeAndre Swift on a quick pitch and let him race somebody to the corners. At the very worst, he's getting back to the line of scrimmage. At the very best, he's going to make somebody miss or run past him. So I just think you can't tell me they don't have it in the playbook. They just got to bring it out.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about Sirianni. We talked about it a little bit earlier. 30-6 since the Flower speech. 14-3 last year. 9-1 this year. In a league, and you appreciate this better than anybody else, that is so damn hard to win every single week.
Yeah.
What they're doing is unprecedented here in terms of the consistency. I don't ever remember Andy didn't have these kind of stretches. I mean, he didn't. This is unbelievable how much this team wins.
Yeah, the fact that he's not in the running for Coach of the Year is criminal again.
Yeah.
I don't want the award, y'all. I'll be honest. I think that award is cursed. Whoever gets it typically gets fired a year or two later. So I'm cool.
You know what? At this point, I don't care. Those awards, everybody else is getting awards, and all we're doing is winning. So I'll take what we're doing, man. But I think Sirianni, with his personality, the way he goes about his business, he is the incarnate of buying in. Everybody's bought into his system. There are some guys, there are some coaches. We used to like to say, we'll run through the wall for you. And Sirianni is one of those dudes. And I think his biggest strength is hands off. This is what I paid you to do. I'm going to let you do what I paid you to do. Because I did all of the research. I did all of the homework, which is why I got you here in the first place. Now that I got you here, I'm not going to interfere. I don't want to step in. We got what? 2 offensive coordinators that were fired in a week.
Yeah.
Including
today, including one today. Yep.
Exactly. And if you poll some Philadelphia Eagles fans, some have that attitude towards Brian Johnson. But at the end of the day, it's like, you got to trust him. Brian Johnson is in his first year doing this. So he's got to take his lumps. Coaches got to take their lumps just like players do. So we just don't want to see it because we done had a taste of the highlight, but we want to get back there. We done had a Super Bowl. We went back, should have won, but we didn't. So the Philadelphia fans have had a taste of that. Anything that doesn't look like what we want it to look like, we got a problem with. And sometimes it is the same thing with quarterbacks. It's the same thing with coaches. You just can't add water and have instant coach, instant guru. It doesn't work like that. If that was the case, Las Vegas wouldn't be having all the issues they having. Josh McDaniels should have been fired. Matter of fact, he shouldn't have even had that job. But you got a situation where some people get opportunity after opportunity and others don't. We've got a situation where, because think about when we hired Nick Sirianni and how much crap that we gave the Eagles for that hire, because there were other people that were more qualified, and plain and simple, nobody knew who he was. Yeah. That was worse than the Doug Peterson hire.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And then you have the Zoom, where he's kind of stumbling a little bit, like most of us were doing on Zoom back then because we weren't familiar with it, right? And everybody's killing him before the guy even got an opportunity to start coaching this team. Then they start off 2-5, and everybody wants to dig his grave.
Exactly.
And boom, what's happened since then? It's amazing.
Yeah. And I think he finally understands, and a lot of coaches still don't do this, where when you bring somebody in or you bring a player in, they've got skills. Let them do what you brought them in to do. If you look at Parcells, if you look at Jimmy Johnson, you look at the great coaches, they know they can bring a player in. Belichick was like this. He'll bring a guy in and is like, yo, you got one job. I need you to do that one job to the best of your ability. And that's exactly what they did. And I think Sirianni is doing that. I was a little worried because Sirianni, he's got that heavy loyalty thing. Yeah. And sometimes, in my opinion, it seems like the optics are he chooses loyalty over performance. To me, that's scary. But it seems like, and I'm using that specific example, talking about Quez Watkins. Yeah. But he made the right decision, and we're seeing the benefits from it. And I think that goes forward, trusting your guys to do what they know how to do.
I can't argue with that. Speaking of guys doing their job, we got to talk about Howie Roseman, man. 2 of his in-season acquisitions, Kevin Byard, Bradley Roby, they forced 2 turnovers on the Kansas City Chiefs in the red zone in crucial moments where the game was essentially on the line. Bradley Roby forces a fumble when the game could have easily turned into 24-14. Yes. They held it to 17-14. Kevin Byard catches the interception in the red zone on Travis Kelce. I want to get your evaluation, your thought process on how Howie Roseman has been conducting himself as a GM, not just this season, but also during the 2023 offseason. Again, he had to really cover a lot of holes after losing guys like TJ Edwards and Miles Sanders and Isaiah Malu and CJ GJ and Marcus Epps, and he replaces them with guys like Reed Blankenship, Kevin Byard, Bradley Roby. You throw in Nicholas Morrow and Zach Cunningham in there. You lose Kaiser White. You bring in DeAndre Swift to fill in Miles Sanders' shoes. What's been your evaluation of Howie Roseman, how he's done business, and how he's been able to play damage control over the past several weeks and during the offseason?
I have no earthly idea how he does it. I call that man the Wizard of Philadelphia. Whatever homework he's doing, whoever he has on his staff, again, he trusts them to get the right information. And that's exactly what they're doing. He's making these deals. Prime example is this whole situation with the linebackers. I have no idea. Did we just luck into that? I don't know. Nick Moreau and Zach Cunningham are playing lights out. And everybody was worried that when the Kobe Dean went down, and because at preseason, I was like, my dark horse was Christian Ellis. I was like, yo, this kid is going to get in and play. And I haven't seen much of him. So a lot of times we put stuff out there again in the media and what we hear, and we put our own spin on it, and we regurgitate something else. But at the end of the day, those are the guys that are in the office, on the phones, watching film every daggone day. And I think most people do not take that to heart. They are doing their job every day. How much film they watch, how much research did they get, who have they talked to? All of that stuff comes into play. And at the end of the day, you get enough information to where you are 99% certain of your decision. And that's what it seems like they're doing. Yes, you're going to get lucky sometimes. That's just the way that it goes. That's the game that we are in, especially in today's NFL. Everything is out there. The information travels super fast. Howie just seems to be on top of it. After we got AJ Brown last year, what was the joke that everybody said? Ain't no way Tennessee will ever talk to Howie Roseman again. Somebody got fired from that deal. Remember that?
He got fired after the game last year.
Right after the game. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Daggone it, this year rolls around and we got Kevin Byard coming to town. And it's like, how did he do that again? Mm-hmm. So whatever relationships he has, there must be something to it. All joking aside, there's a reason why when he calls, people will pick up the phone. There's a reason for that. If you want to go all the way back to the whole Chip Kelly fiasco, you know what? He took his lumps.
Yep. He came back better. And instead of just moping, he came back better.
Yep. Exactly. He went back to the lab, figured out what to do, and he figured out what not to do.
Yep.
And because if I'm not mistaken, a big criticism of Howie was because he didn't recruit or try to sign SEC players and big conference players for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And when that changed, we start getting rings. We start getting to the playoffs. We are where we're supposed to be because of Howie Roseman.
Yep. Well said. All right, Coach Markus, tell everybody where they can catch you, and I'll give the Twitter handle out in a second, but where else they can catch you.
Yeah, you can catch me on my YouTube channel, Pro Fan Talk. I'm putting out content almost every day. Mm-hmm. And as usual, I am on the Mothership A2D Radio every Thursday at 7 p.m. If you're not paying attention, you're just not paying attention. Stop playing.
At Coach_Markus with a K 06. And of course, everywhere, A2D, et cetera. You do an awesome job, man. We appreciate the insights today. Thanks for giving us a couple minutes, Markus.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
That is Coach Markus right there. Awesome insights for sure. All right, let's get a timeout, Tone. We'll broaden this thing into full-blown NFL. We'll start with the NFC standings and look at what the Eagles have, what the teams near them have. We'll look at the AFC. We'll get into a bunch of other things because, as Coach Markus just alluded to, the Steelers, which is very out of character for them, said bye-bye to their offensive coordinator today.
That's how you know it was bad. That's how you know it was bad.
And that's how you know it's crunch time now after that loss to the Browns, man, for sure. All right, let's hit it. We'll do that when we come back. A lot to do here over the course of the last half hour of the program. Don't go anywhere. That is Tone to Shields. I am Rob Ellis, hanging out with you on this lovely Tuesday. All right, so let's talk about Flynn Tree Services. They are an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problems that you may face. They're experts trimming all types of trees, and they serve southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, as well as northern Delaware. You can go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at FlynnTreeServices.com. That's FlynnTreeServices.com.